Jimmy, something I was going to ask you, somebody just said, ask Jimmy, on the show with Tim, you said why you gave one or two reasons why you had a change of heart on the CIP after the election.
Right.
But I am more interested in why did you support it all this time? What are your reasons that you supported it all this time?
Because I think I saw CIP as something, given the economic situation given the current economic situation, as something that would have assisted in bringing in further investment into the country. So I was looking at it, unfortunately, very myopically, as something that would have boosted very short-sightedly, very narrowly.
What does that mean?
That I did not consider the full ramifications of what the CIP would have done.
You didn't take into consideration our record for due diligence and our control of due diligence?
Well, you see, we have an alien landholding license, for example, procedure where somebody who's applying for a license to hold land and that person is not a citizen of St. Lucia. You go through all of these checks. So we have due diligence.
What I'm saying to you,
so I'm saying you have
a lousy record for due diligence.
Not always. We've done where the alien landholding license situation is concerned, we've done a pretty good job with due diligence there. And I think that is the danger with having a citizenship by investment program where you are now not looking at maybe 1 or 2 applications for alien landholding license a month, but you're looking at so many applications and it's not to hold.
You remember the guy who was involved with Lamberts?
Yes, I do.
That guy came here for 2 days and he's still here and got into all that stuff that's going on. Okay? That's due diligence. And the answer to that...
But the due diligence starts before that. The due diligence starts in putting in place systems that would ensure that if somebody is going to establish a medical school or any other educational institution in this country, that they must go for a process of accreditation. But because do you know that there have been people who have advertised medical schools in St. Lucia and they've superimposed a banner on Photoshop on the barracks at VG, and they've said that that is a medical school and they're collecting money from people.
The Prime Minister was one of the lecturers at an illegal school.
Well, so that's my point, Rick. We have, and that's why I speak of governance, we have to put in place the systems of governance. Somebody asked me a very simple question when we were doing the legislation for the new electricity legislation and for the National Utilities Regulatory Commission. And he said, you know, I don't like this. I don't think the minister should be appointing the commissioners. I think the Governor General should appoint the commissioners. And I said, why? He said, because we will not always have a Jimmy Fletcher as the minister. I said, okay, well, I'm flattered that you think that I'm a reasonable person. But we can't create laws for unreasonable ministers. We can't create laws to safeguard ourselves from unreasonable ministers. We have to assume that you will always have reasonable ministers in place. But I was wrong, because I'm admitting to you that I was wrong, that we have to ensure, now looking back at it, and seeing how some of the regulations have been corrupted or the original intention has been changed. And I'm not talking about this administration, I'm talking about throughout the history of our government. And also, how do you know that the Governor General will always be reasonable?
Exactly. But Jimmy, here's my thing. I don't see any reason. People should not be encouraged to trust their government. People should be making government accountable at every turn.
Yeah, agree.
But what we have taught people, trust your government, and there's the party aspect of it. My party can do no wrong. And that is why I am so interested, and that's what I'm about. I suppose it doesn't matter about the book, a lovely book, nicely written, and it serves its purpose. And Calix is right, maybe you'll write the next book. But I think St. Lucians need to know that this went wrong because why did we lose 17 beaches as a consequence of Rodney Pigeon Island? We lost 17 beaches. Why is our land...
Why are we losing watersheds as a result of some of the developments that we've allowed to take place?
So we had so many dead rivers and disappeared rivers? Why? People need to know why.
And why, Rick, why possibly in 20 years' time we will have a problem if we go ahead with some of the developments we've heard on the cards, because we're talking about 1 meter and 2 meter sea level rise.
But wouldn't it be more attention grabbing if we could point out, hey, you see this over there? That's why it did so and so. And if we did nothing about this, now that's what's going to happen. But if we don't tell them, because that's what it is over here. Nobody is prepared to say this went bad. That's what accountability is about, Jimmy.
I agree. That's what accountability is about. But I don't think you need a book to tell you that this went bad.
Oh, you do, Jimmy, because they don't know.
No, but they don't know the things that went bad? Really?
I mean, am I going to say to you that you mean that they don't know how to be a political leader. The point, that is not the point. The point is by the apparent endorsement of everything that's horrible, I am going to say they don't know. Because if people really knew, for example, the details, and that's what I'm waiting for Kenny Anthony to do, to tell the House, not debate with me, go and account, and not persecuting him, like he said, go to the House and account how did you get into Granberg, and why are we before an ICSID paying millions of dollars for defense and whatnot. That's called accountability. Now, if we are not going to write about the horrible governance we've had, which leads you to write this cute little book, it's because we have not had what you claimed, what you are saying we should have. That word you have there, should. We have not had it for how many years? 64, thereabouts. From that, we've not had it. And we have paid very high price in the quality of people.
So should we not say that this is what we are looking for? This is what we want. This is what we will accept.
And
this is what we will not accept.
Yeah, but no, Jimmy. There's almost a stubbornness, and I'm not talking just you, of calling a spade. And you don't tell me why the spade is not good, that I should get a pickaxe. You know, show me why. And why is it government after government after government has perpetuated this Spade Syndrome? Why? Why haven't they gotten off it?
And why is it that we continue to allow the Spade Syndrome to be perpetuated? So why aren't we holding the mirror
Jimmy,
up to ourselves?
Jimmy, we have elected leaders. Compton said, you know, solutions, no, I don't agree with all of it. Solutions, no, every problem is. But they never ask themselves why. And he says, no reason why? Because the finger will point at them. But people must be protected from themselves, and there must be no excuse, I didn't know. And I cannot see, just like Granberg, if everybody's talking about somebody should answer this, and Astefan should this, and Claudia should that, Kenny Anthony should account to the people.
But isn't the issue bigger than Granberg, though? And that's the point I'm trying to make.
What is the issue bigger than Granberg? The issue is about governance.
No, exactly. Isn't the issue about governance and accountability?
So let's
deal with governance and accountability, and let's use Granberg as an example of where we need to go. If there were things that went wrong with Granberg, let's do that.
Why Granberg is bad? People need to know how Granberg started.
No, people need to know what it is. Rick, I am into what it is that will cause St. Lucians to be inspired for them to want to take this country to another level. Granberg will not do that.
Let me answer
Granberg will not do that.
Let me answer that.
What will?
I will give you a suggested answer, best I can do. I think if we've trained our people to demand accountability, as you and I know accountability,
I'm with you on that.
as opposed to encouraging them for the movie lang and BS and
I'm with you on that.
Do it.
I'm with you on that.
I'm
with you on that.
But we're not doing it.
And that is what this book is about. This book is not about holding up and saying Granberg was bad, DSH is bad.
Don't you think it should?
No, I don't think it should. I think this should be about governance and accountability.
In all the big countries, we know all about the corruption, the details, what Trump did, the Russians and everything. We know all those things and we can arrive at conclusions. And in this country, we are simply told, you know, the best thing is to have a prime minister who is sinless, to have PhDs, and if we can do this.
But who says that?
No, I'm just giving.
But I'm saying that we should not say that.
Yeah, but I'm saying
we
why
should
don't
not
we
say
start?
that. And this book does not say that.
Start with the lack of accountability that has been there from Compton's day.
I agree.
And start with the one that's killing us right now. I mean,
but Granberg is not. But Granberg is not killing us, Rick. Granberg is not killing us. What is killing us is bad governance and poor accountability. Granberg might be for you. Granberg might be for you, the poster child. But Granberg is not killing us.
Let me put it another way. The issue has been just like impacts. You call it impact. You call it Granberg.
Right.
What is killing us?
The issue was not impacts. The issue was Operation Restore. The issue was Operation Restore Confidence. It's not impacts. You see, it's good at creating sound bites.
No. What you did, I don't agree with that, because there has been no properly established connection between impact and the ORC. And I will keep on. No.
Really?
There no court. Nobody has decided that what happened.
So why was the Impacts
There was only a time
Commission?
frame, a coincidence of time.
But wasn't the Impacts Report Commission to deal with the incidents in Operation Restore Confidence?
The Impacts investigation was done by a particular guy on his own. He's not a DPP. It's done by a particular guy on his own. He overlooked the inquest results. He broke, to my mind, he broke a number of laws in doing that. So let's not even go there. And the Americans say to him, okay, so you have a report called impacts, prosecute it. But they can't, and all kinds of problems are attached to that. But let me go back to Grindberg. It's like Rochamel. Those things are called by brand names, Rochamel. But what really happened was the finance minister, what he did, Frenwell, what was exposed by the Commission of Inquiry, but it's called Rochamel. They have brand names. So, one more point. So, when I say Grindberg, don't latch on, it's not about Grindberg. What I'm talking about is the arrogance of refusing to account.
And when you say Grindberg, I tell you, what we need is greater accountability. So what we need is parliamentary oversight of the work of the executive, so that Grindberg, that is your poster child for bad governance, or signing 25 direct awards in one day, not going through Central Tenders Board, all of the things that point to bad governance, point to a lack of accountability, all of these things. My thing is, let's put in place a system, Rick, that will deal with Grindberg, to deal with the issues that you have raised with Grindberg, that will deal with the issues that I have.
But the system is there.
No, it is not.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you why it's there.
Where is it?
You spoke a while ago about the UN scandal. There was an inquiry. There was a report. A report is supposed to be handed over to the DPP. We had other inquiries, but the monarch of all I survey does not do it. And we just sit back and do nothing about it. But the instruments are there to have commissions of inquiry, judicial reviews.
But what do commissions of inquiry do?
Because we don't account, we're not accountable.
Yeah, but the commission of inquiry is something that the government comes in and it does to be able to shine a light on another administration. I have absolutely no time for commissions of inquiry. I find commissions of inquiry a waste of time.
No, but
absolute waste of time.
Only because we refuse to
No, Rick, if somebody has done something that is criminal, somebody has misused funds, if you misuse funds, they don't set up a commission of inquiry into you. There are procedures, there are criminal procedures. No, there are criminal procedures. Yeah, so why we keep on doing, the Commission of Inquiry is very nice. It gives us, it's a kind of catharsis that we have gone through this process and we have a report that says we should do A, B, or C. I have no time for commissions of inquiry. It's a waste of time.
Let me give you an example. Money. Let me give you an example. There was an inquiry called Frenwell, right? A report was done. In fact, from day one, the commissioner says this is not a trial, civil or criminal. And what he means by that is we'll submit a report, and that report is supposed to be handed to the DPP, who will determine if there's need to investigate further, if there might be, and as a consequence, charges. But what happens is monarch of all I survey, stops it there.
But my point goes back again, Rick. If someone, if the average citizen does something, do we have a commission of inquiry to determine whether this issue should go to a police to investigate? A policeman to investigate?
In the first place, Jimmy, I don't even want to compare civil people with people who are in office and holding power.
My thing, Rick, is that
and by the way, that's a good point you bring up there. The civilian, before you know it, he's under arrest, maybe false arrest, not allowed to see a lawyer. All kinds of things happen to the civilian. The politician is the boss of the policeman. No policeman is even thinking he's going to go and talk to this guy. That is the problem.
No, exactly, and that's what we need to change. But when we continue to give ourselves, when we continue to sit back and tell ourselves that we've done a commission of inquiry and the report is there, we're not going to change it.
But if we don't start the narrative, the action going and pointing out, look at something like Grindberg or Rochamel or whatever you want. And that should not have happened. The Finance Act says so and so and so. It got away. Like
do you know the Finance Act that you quote? That if a permanent secretary has done something that is contrary to the Finance Act, that permanent secretary, who is the accounting officer of the ministry, can be surcharged. You know what that means? If it is that you have used government funds in a way that was not correct, you could be made to pay for it out of your own pocket. The Finance Act says that.
We have laws for that. So here's your point.
There are laws for that.
Here's the point I'm making. So we have a law for that. We have the method that we have the process to deal with it, but we don't. That is my point. And
who is not dealing with it?
The government.
No, the governments do not deal with it.
Who is going to deal with it then?
But why don't they, Rick? Because it is a nice... What
I'm saying, what you just said, there was a great point. Yeah. You've made the point for me, please, thank you, that we have in place mechanisms to make people accountable.
Absolutely, and use them.
So why,
with all
your experience, why is it We have not done that.
Because people believe that maybe
What is it, people? What do you mean?
No, I'm talking about this, the general citizenry. Their perception is that politicians like to go through this dance of pretending it's like play fighting. So I'll tell you, boy, I'm going to fight with you, and somebody hold me back, hold me back, hold me back. So in doing that, it gives the impression that we are very concerned about accountability, that we want to do, but we really don't want to do anything, because we don't want that same light that is being shone on us right now, shone on somebody else.
Junior, how we doing? Junior? I think so too.
Yeah. So my thing is let's deal with governance and accountability.
Jimmy, I'm going to invite you in a couple of weeks' time again to deal with a topic. I love what's going on. Don't let our argument get in your way. It's a very nicely written book. You may disagree with everything I said there, but we had a nice discussion, very good discussion. The book is called Governing in a Small Caribbean Island, and it's available where, Jimmy?
It's available at A.F. Valmore, 758 Books, in the Cashry City Hall, at the Folk Research Center, and at T&M Toy and Stationery Store in the Viewfort Plaza.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jimmy.
My pleasure.
Okay. Rick's not mad. He's just different. Good night, Talk City. Rick's not mad. Rick's not mad. Rick Wayne? We talk some real crap, you know. You don't have that clip from Philip Jr.? Rick's not mad. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's just different. Different. I don't think you've ever heard me promise anybody a rose garden. Rick's not mad. Rick's not mad. That wouldn't be good for St. Lucia. Are you there, Junior? Rick's not mad. Junior, turn that off my airplane. Rick's not mad. Maybe I'm wrong. Do we have a call again, Junior? It's just different. Do I have to comment on that? Don't have to kiss or suck or. That's the only word you remember, right, Junior? The intercourse word. Rick's not mad. So I've never been a guaranteed friend of any government. Rick's not mad. He's just different.